Okay, this is part two, and Bobby Fischer places Mikhail Tal, played in Leipzig 1960. It's a French defense. And I had just covered where White had castled on its 13th move here. Discussing Black's 13th move, which it's actually going to castle long. But the interesting move for Black would be, and it can continue this way, is to play Knight takes e5. And then White would probably respond Knight takes e5, Queen takes e5, and now White has to do something. It can, I don't know, it could move this bishop, move this rook, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the bishop when I said that. Move the bishop back. Seems like maybe the best move is queen to d3, but now, this sort of just leads to, White's trying to keep an advantage here. So that probably would have been a good move by Black also. But Black decides to castle long. And now White's going to play bishop to g5, and this is probably where I meant to go into my other line previously in my analysis. That this is where Bobby Fischer should have played, and this is what he put in his notes, is now he should have captured this knight here. So, because now it's the, so when I explained earlier with the moves, I think I was a move early on some of my analysis. So now the continuation of saying if queen takes or knight takes, the moves from White are going to be like this and that, with the idea of promoting this pawn over here if those two moves happen. So sorry about the previous analysis. And the best move by Black is bishop takes c6, and now the continuation should be queen takes f7, d4, opening the line, queen takes e6, and if the king moves, then the knight here is just played to g5. Bishop to d7, queen takes e7. It looks like White wins a knight, but it doesn't because of rook takes g2 check. King takes to g2. Now bishop to h3. Now it looks like White's losing the queen, but not. King takes, queen takes e7, and then the bishop to g5 is the looks like the equalizer. So instead, after Black on its 13th move castles long, Bobby Fischer plays a bishop to g5, pinning the knight here. But now Black just plays queen to, not queen, knight takes e5, and then knight takes e5. Bishop takes b5, threatening to win the rook here on f1. But White will play knight takes f7, sort of taking a pawn, threatening the capture. Both sides are sort of taking pawns, threatening to winning the exchange. Bishop takes f1, knight takes d8. Rook takes g5. Looks like Black just won a piece, but not, because of a knight takes e6, forking. And then Black has this nice little move of rook takes g2, check, and White cannot play king takes f1 due to rook takes h2, taking the pawn, threatening the queen. Queen has to move, probably just goes to the f7, and then rook to h1 check, not very good, so that's not very good for white, so white can't play that move. Oops. So white has to play king to h1. And now black plays queen to e5, getting the queen out of danger, threatening to take the knight. And now white will play rook takes f1, queen takes e6. And now king takes g2, and now black just gets perpetual check with queen to g4 check, and the king's going to come to h1. The queen's going to come to f3, and they're just going to sort of move back and forth between, and then after that check, they're just going to, it's perpetual check by black. So that is the game between Bobby Fischer and Mikhail Tal, played in Leipzig, 1960.